We're on.
Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, our favorite day of the week here. We can't wait till Thursday because that's when all the cool stuff happens.
It's closer to the weekend, too.
All right. I just remembered a couple things that I didn't do. But we have so much stuff going on today that's why I forgot what I was going to do. But we will give away prizes. That's what I didn't pick, is the prizes. Like, what are we going to pick for prize? I know. We'll have some things for prizes. So make sure you comment. That's how you win a prize here. And I know a bunch of you have already won prizes. If you've already won a prize, tell us you won a prize. Tell us how cool it was. Tell us how cool the prizes are that Heidi gives you guys every week. Right, Heidi? Yep.
Or post them on Stitch so we can see what
post,
you got.
They do. A lot of times they post. Yeah, we love that.
Yep.
All right, so we have some announcements, and I gave her 10 minutes for announcements.
Oh, my God. She chops me off at the knees all the time. Yes. Of course, if she's here, she skips the announcements.
That's I know. I'm not doing them today.
I'm not doing them today.
I got too much other good stuff to talk about.
Well, we're getting ready for Chessie and me. I still have day slots. If you're not doing anything tomorrow and Saturday, come stitch with us.
Come make this beautiful new exclusive design that Linda did for us.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep. All right. I have one slot left in the summertime sip, sew, shop, and stay. That's $200. Check in on Friday at 9 o'clock and check out on Saturday afternoon, the 13th. And we'll have fun, and Erica will cook for you and all that good stuff. So Bernina's doing some educational events now. And actually, we have Bernina Embroidery 101 coming up on the 27th. Full. Yay. Second session is August 8th from 9 to 4. That includes your lunch. It's $50. So you can sign up online by going to Primitive Gatherings and going to the events tab. Sign up and pay and the whole shebang. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can call me at the gathering and we'll get you signed up. So space is limited. So if you're thinking about it, don't think too long. Yeah. It'll get filled up. And then Tyler was here last week and talked with Jess about Debbie Maddie. Debbie's got a indigo dyeing workshop here August 21st through the 25th. She's an awesome instructor. Anybody I've ever talked to that's been to one of her classes just
it's amazing
loves it.
The stuff you do.
Yeah.
And if you're new here and haven't seen previous videos, last week Jess and Tyler showed a whole bunch of stuff that they learned from Debbie, and it's really very interesting. I watched it just the other day.
Yep, he did a great job. So check that out and give us a call because we sure would love to have you.
Because I didn't know Tyler wasn't doing tie-dye until Debbie came. I had no idea.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she only comes every other year. Yeah. So
she's coming because she's a moda designer. She's coming. So we thought we'd hook on a class for her. So we need to get a nice number in that class for her.
Yep.
The last thing I want to do is cancel that.
Yeah, exactly.
So come and have some fun. Play with some blue dye.
Yeah. All right. So we are working on rug hooking workshop. That's going to be the entire last week of August. It's going to be 2 sessions per instructor. Unfortunately, Nancy, that Lisa took a class from the Rick Rack rug, she's got some medical stuff going on and she's not going to be able to travel. Her doctor said,
no way, Jose.
Yep. So, but we still have Katie Puckett and Susie. They're both McGowan certified. Give us a call. We are working down the wait list for rug hooking.
Oh, okay.
So we are starting to book those. So
good.
Unless you want to just hang out and wait till we give you a call. But if you think you're not on the wait list or you're interested or have more questions, please give us a call. So, and believe it or not, moving right along to All Things Pumpkin.
We fill yet?
Saturday's full.
Saturday's full. So we have a Monday open.
Saturday, September 28th, and then Lisa will do an instant replay on the 30th of September. So that is a 1-day session.
Is that a go for sure, though?
It is.
Okay.
It is. We're almost full for Monday. So don't hang on the fence about this stuff too long, because once people find out about it, it's like they fill quick. Teresa Kogut, who is a cross-stitch designer, she's been at Primitive Gatherings She was here.
Third time?
Yeah, she was here twice last year. And we fill her up pretty quick too.
Yeah,
So
she's very exciting, very fun, very hip. And a lot of her designs cross over from wool applique to punch needle to cross stitch. So no matter what you do or what you love, Teresa always has something for everybody.
yeah,
And you just want to come and touch her robe just to hang out with her.
she's very generous.
She is.
So
You
in
get
the
this beautiful swag when she comes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of goodies, and because she knows that we do wool here at Primitive Gatherings, she's started to include wool projects in her kits too. So you usually get a cross stitch with all of the fabric and floss, and a wool project and a punch needle project.
All lots of good stuff.
Yep. So lots of good stuff. So call me because that one is getting full. I know we're moving along into the fall, and you say, "My gosh, we don't even have summer yet," but here we are.
They'll be here before we know it.
No kidding. Linda Hirschka will be here November for her 2-day class that everybody loves.
And that's all machine quilting, custom machine quilting. Best class you're ever going to take from a custom machine quilter.
I had a really good question from a lady who was here for Wool Club yesterday. She said, "I'd love to come to this class," but she said, "I have a domestic machine. What can I learn?" And so I messaged back and forth with Linda this morning. She said, "Perfect." She said, "I can teach you design, I can teach you ruler work, and you can do all of that on a domestic."
Yep.
So give us a call, take a look at the flyer, and we'll get you signed up. There's lodging available for that too. If you're coming from a distance, you can stay overnight and take that class. And then the ever popular.
Ooh, how is this going?
Well, this is, yes. So Bernina is sponsoring a quilted coat class, which Lisa is going to help Bernina Barb with.
Yes. It's more Barb than Lisa. Don't give me all the credit here. It was my idea for the long duster, but Barb is the executioner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Executor.
So just be patient with us. We're starting to make our way through those.
And we can only have so many people in each class because it's very intensive.
So Barb came up with some alternate dates. We are going to do Bernina education. Let's see, the 7th and the 8th of October is the first coat class. The 9th and 10th is the second one. And then if we can't get you into either one of those, or those dates don't work, we're going to do January, February, and March classes. Yeah. And that, did you put that one up already, Heidi?
Yep, she got it right there. I see it.
Oh, yeah. Do. All right. So be patient with us. If you've already called us about that, we're working our way through the list to get you signed up. So hopefully something will work for that.
Don't forget about Red, White, and Blue Quilt Show. We want your quilts. The more the better. You can just go online and type in Blue and White Quilt Show. I think it's $35. You're going to get some swag when you enter. Yep. And then your quilt will be hung proudly here at Primitive Gatherings from our Primitive Christmas event through the end of the year. And then we ship them back after the holiday rush in the middle of January. Mm-hmm. So they're not getting caught up in any of that stuff. So you can go on and you can print out the official rules and information about the Blue and White Quilt Show, and also how to mail your quilt in and all that kind of stuff.
That's on the blog, right, Heidi? They can go to the blog to get
Blue and White Quilt Shows on, yeah.
Just confirming.
All right.
I don't want to give you incorrect information.
Yes. So look on the blog for that information.
Then go to Primitive Gatherings to the events tab, and then check for your club dates. There are some club dates that we aren't able to book in July because we have 25 people filling the house at the gathering. So we've had to move some things around. So if you're looking for clubs to attend, please go out and take a look at that, or call us.
Check the dates. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good job. Is the rest mine?
Yeah, Liberty Box. And,
okay. Yes. Hang on here in case I don't know something.
Okay.
All right. So let's just do this first. So we want to remind everyone that we launched our loyalty program about a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. And so every one of your purchases now that is, which like 95% of everything you buy, whether it's on sale or not, counts towards our loyalty program. There are a few exceptions. Like if you buy, a $10,000 sewing machine, that is an exception. Okay. You're going to get some other rewards and deals with that we can't give you rewards for $10,000. That you get it. You're smart. And so, but we want to reward you. We want you to come to Primitive Gatherings. Like when you need, a bolt of fabric, like Alicia always wants a bolt. So she's like, why are there no bolts on the website? We're like, oh, okay, we'll add some bolts. But anyway, now you'll be able to get reward points for that. So when you reach $500, you're going to get $20 free, and you can use them whenever you want. You can combine them and use them as a save purchase. So it eliminates all our punch cards and everything, which is way too labor intensive. And then now, because our website can't do exclusions, you get credit for almost everything. So that's why we raised the threshold, and then it doesn't matter if it's on sale or not. Our Comment Sold has a different loyalty program with that. So even though you might shop on Comment Sold sometimes, by the way, which is going to be a fantastic one after this. So stay tuned for that. Alicia and I are going to selling fabric like popcorn, right? We're going to give you deals and steals, right?
Mm-hmm.
To celebrate her being here. So just know that Comment Sold does have loyalty points on stuff as well, but not everything. We might be excluding some today because the discounts we are giving you today are super low, like cost. Okay, so if that didn't get your heart pumping there, that should. All right, so if you go to, I don't really know, is there some place on our website where they can go to find out how to do the loyalty stuff?
Yes.
Yes. How do they find it? Anybody know? I'm looking
There's
at.
going to be a video coming out.
Yeah.
All right, we're working on a video, and I know it has something to do with, you got to go down and find this icon right here on the bottom of the page.
When you log in, you should get the little loyalty. There's some tricks to people that try to log in on their phones. We can help with that, and I bet you the video or whatever will help with that too.
Okay.
If you turn your punch card in before the 1st of July,
you get 100
you
points.
get 100 extra loyalty points.
Jeez.
So come on down and get them turned in.
Whoever did that is super nice, because I probably wouldn't have given you that many. I'm just saying. 100 points. That's like $100. That's $100 spent.
I bet you I turned in 30 of them the other day.
So get your punch cards in, get them converted, get that balance off to a really good start without having to buy anything. So
and you get points if you enter your birthday into the loyalty system too.
Because
so
we might give you something on your birthday.
Yeah.
So play along with us. We love friends. We love rewarding you for shopping with us, and we appreciate you all. Okay?
If they're out of town, they can mail their cards.
Perfect.
If you're out of town, you can mail your card in. Yes, and we will punch it. Just mail your card in with your email, because you have to have an account with us, or you could create one too. I don't know. So
they have to have an email address.
With their account, with their email, and they'll put it onto your thing. Yep. See how easy we are? Don't you want to shop with a place that's easy?
Yep.
All right, then last but not least is the Liberty boxes coming soon from Fat Quarter Shop. They do a couple specialty boxes each year that are not part of their subscription. So if you want a fun box, there may still be some online. And on June 20th, we're going to open our box for you and show you what's inside, or what you missed out because you didn't buy it. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. I have one more little announcement before Alicia and I get going, but I want to show you that I did a stitchery for the state of Michigan, and it's really fun, and it is only sold in 2 shops. They have a shop hop going on right now during the month of June, and it is Bittersweet Quilt Shop in Pinconning, Michigan, and Cousins Quilt Shop. I believe there's one in Bel Air and one in Charlevoix. I think they are both called Cousins. I'm not quite sure, but those are my 2 buddies. All right, so my 2 buddies got the pattern for the shop hop, and I hope they have a successful shop hop. I know one of them called after one day. She sold 85 patterns in one day.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing.
Yes. All right. So now it's time for the Alicia show. Alicia show. Isn't
The
that
Lisa
great?
and Alicia.
Alicia. I know I figured out when I was about 40 years old that my mom named me kind of after her. Her name is Teresa. So she named me Lisa, but I was about 40 before I realized that was a thing.
There was like a similar name.
Yeah. So,
well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Same.
Kind of dumb, right? But, All right, dear.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know if you remember or not, or maybe you're new, but this is Alicia. She hails from California. I'll let her tell more about it, but I just wanted to introduce you. And she her main job here is to help me design stuff for primitive gatherings, because one cannot do everything we do here alone. And she does a fantastic job. And I'll let her tell our little story.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. California is very, very sunny, but it's really nice where everything is green.
Yeah.
And I love the Appleton Airport.
Sunny and brown, right?
Yeah, sunny and brown. And an airport that's about 50 times the size of Appleton.
Yeah. So if you ever get to come here, and we have an airport 15 minutes away, and it's a little airport, but it's getting bigger every day. Like, I know they're under construction right now, adding more terminals and stuff like that. And I saw we're going to go, like, what did I call it? Direct to LA and direct to New York. Mm-hmm. So those are more directs for us. So that's sweet.
Yeah, but the airport is still like, you can, when you pick someone up, you can like look through the glass and see them getting off the plane.
Yes, yes, it's that small.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be in the baggage claim area and see the plane, everybody getting up.
Yeah, so it's great. So it's great to be here. And it's always just nice to come back and remember that, like, you know, this whole place exists. And because I just sit in my room and, you know, we FaceTime a lot.
Right, but you don't get to be in the hive. No. This is definitely a hive.
It is. And it's very exciting to be here because I think, like, I've had like bundles of fabric thrown at me as I've been like walking. They're like, oh, here, and this. And
speaking of bundles.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Alicia is the queen of pre-cut. So we send her pre-cuts, and she makes magic out of these pre-cuts. So I don't really envy that job.
Sometimes I may or may not be saying your name under my breath when I'm in my sewing room working on them. No, I really like it. I do most of the designing for the quilt box. That's kind of the heavy lift that I help you with.
Yes, and it is good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that worked out really well. And we've had kind of like conversations about pre-cuts and designing with pre-cuts, and it can be limiting, but I actually think that the limitation is what forces me to be creative.
All right.
So I spend some time, like when I get either it's a charm pack. I mean, when it's a layer cake, I'm like in heaven, but usually it's a charm pack or maybe a jelly roll. And I lay the fabric out, and depending on what designer it is, you know, you have just, each line's a little different. You know, like your Joyful Gatherings had like 10 reds, 10 dark greens, and then 20 cream prints.
Right.
So that's
kind of even.
It was even, but it has to be considered when you're looking at it. So I'll have an idea of what design I'm going to start with. And then I kind of just start playing around with, okay, well, if I did it like this, and I like to try and make it cohesive, so it's not always just scrappy. And a lot of the charm packs come with, like, you'll get 2 of the same print, and that's really helpful because then you can, in a block, sort of have
because Moda now, some of the lines are a little bit smaller.
Yes.
So they're only like 24. So then you'll get a double of almost every print because they have 42. So you're only missing 3 of them that don't have a double.
And that is great. Yeah. Because that means that if I'm doing
ask me how I know that, because I have a new line and I can't tell you about it yet. But
it's really cool.
It has 25 SKUs in it. Usually mine have 40. So I only get an extra 2 of 2. Because there's 42 in the square pre-cuts.
Yeah.
But I love it when you can get more than one. So.
Yeah. So my favorite pre-cut is probably a layer cake.
Did you skip our talk about our design process, or did
kind
of a little?
I think we'll have to circle back to it because we started on the pre-cuts.
We can circle back because we can talk about what we do, and then we can talk about why we do it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, do you want to
why and how
the design? Yeah. So I'm relatively new to quilting.
Right, she is.
I only started quilting in like 2015.
Right.
And I think you and I met in like 2018 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And the way we met, well, I guess we had known each other a bit from retreats.
Yeah.
But I had done Rumor Has It, which is one of your quilts, one of the best quilts. I love this quilt. And Lisa always says she's very, very generous with the fabric in the kits, and that's true. And I have always just sketched on graph paper. So I had all this extra fabric from Rumor Has It, and I ended up making one of my quilts out of it, sent a picture, and she's like, whose design is that? It's like, so she's like, we're patterning it. And we were meant to be at a retreat together a couple weeks later. And she's like, do you have more? And I was like, yeah, I have a few more.
So she pulls out this binder. people. I'm not kidding you. Look at this.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are all future quilts.
Those are babies waiting to be birthed.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's fun. So when we get together, because we FaceTime together, and every once in a while I'll design something and be so excited I'll just send you a picture.
Yeah.
But we do sort of the flip through. And we,
and even though something doesn't trigger something then,
mm-hmm.
it'll trigger something the next time we flip through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have different fabric lines, we have different projects that are going on.
Or we've done something that ended up being really, really popular that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And so there's something that's a variation on that. And so there's all sorts of ways into designing, right? You can figure out like, well, what elements do I want to do? Sometimes I'm just like, what could I do with flying geese? Or what could I do with the charm pack? Or, whatever that one thing is for me, that's where the design starts.
Right. And being creative for you, because you did a job during COVID that was just like, you want to rip your hair out.
Yes.
Right. So, tell me what being creative gave you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of different definitions of creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I really believe everyone has some creativity in them.
Right. Ability.
Yes.
Right. I do too.
And even if
it can be different for different things.
Totally. Because I've seen people when they really get into like problem solving mode, that's creativity.
Yeah.
Anytime you just sort of decide that you're going to look at the world and imagine it differently
is being creative.
That's creativity.
Right. So I found this quote the other day and I saved it, and that's why I was looking on my phone here when you saw me grab my phone. But the quote is, "The desire to create is one of the deepest yearnings of the human soul." So that's that feeling we get when something by making something and creating something that came from your head and seeing it alive, that really sparks something deep inside our soul. And there's the proof, because somebody else said it.
Yeah. And I think for our collaboration, like I think our sort of forms of creativity are really compatible.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I think that when you and I get going on something, it's that desire to see what the right answer is. It's like then we start collaborating on
it. And being able to collaborate with somebody is like secret sauce,
mm-hmm.
because together you're so much better than one.
So much
right
better.
And that's why I always love, like, that I have like Jess and Amy here, and I'll be like, is this cool or is this dumb? You know what I mean? Because sometimes you just don't know, right? Because just because I like something doesn't mean that everybody's going to like it, or nobody might like it, but you never know. So sometimes it's nice to have somebody to throw things off of, and the more people, the better, actually, because like me and Jess sat down yesterday and we're going through a whole bunch of things, and it's just nice to have people that can work together and create and not like get their feelings hurt or anything like that, and just know that what we do is to serve our customers and to bring joy to everybody, however that happens. And it's different for everybody, but there is something to that.
There is. And it can be scary at times when you feel stuck and you don't know like how to get out of it. But actually, creativity is the answer.
Right. Exactly.
Like if you change that fear into excitement, then it just is like a refresh on the whole problem.
Right. And sometimes what I think too is like when you make a mistake, mistakes are perfect for creativity.
Yeah.
So I saw a t-shirt the other day that said, "Make mistakes."
That's
that
awesome.
Cool? And
yeah,
I love that. I'm like, I want one.
Like intentionally do it.
Like make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to make mistakes, because some of the best things come from making mistakes. And I'm really good at that. Like when I'm teaching a class and somebody makes a boo-boo, I don't know why, but I got this innate ability to turn it around and figure it out so it works somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like magic. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to show us, Kaylee?
Well, I think Kaylee's getting ready to. So we had talked about sort of my process, and I guess I know EQ is an amazing program, but just based on me having to do that job you were talking about in COVID, I was sort of limited to just sitting there with graph paper. So that's how I design, is on graph paper. So Kaylee has a picture. We were just going to show you. This is the original sketch for Thunderbird from Rustic Gatherings. And that was just done on paper. And then that is the final quilt.
So isn't that amazing? So this quilt is in Rustic Gatherings book. if you need to know that. And just look what the coloring does and how to play with that. And it's just amazing to see just her triangles and rectangles or whatever on a piece of paper come together to make a quilt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I love it.
And that's how she does it. She she's not an illustrator. She does the graph paper, and then we give it to the masters at the Adobe Illustrator that's kicking my butt all the time. I learn and then I forget, and then I learn and I forget. And
yeah.
I know you got to do it every day, but right now my dues don't have enough in.
To do it every day.
Yeah, to do it every day.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say sometimes my drawings are smarter than we are.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, how are you gonna make that?
Yeah.
There was what she's like. Paper piecing? I'm like, oh, good answer. Because there ain't any way else you're making that.
If paper piecing is the answer, we're done.
Yeah, because we were paper piecing a Moda blockhead last night. I'm like, see, that's why I don't do those ones. Yeah. Once in a while I can do one, but just no, I don't. And it's just how we're wired.
Yeah.
All right. Some people are wired to do things one way, and others are, and what works for some person is not going to work for. So please don't give up after one try. Do things, find the methods that you like, because there's so many different ones out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So if you have any questions about creativity or whatever, you guys let us know if we got anything coming up in here. I've been staying up way too late at night and sewing way too late that I can't read those letters. I can't read that right now.
Oh, really?
My
That's
eyes
what happens when your eyes get
my
tired.
eyes are too bad right now.
I can't see them at all.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of if I go.
I don't know if I do.
My favorite are fat quarters. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fat quarters are great. I mean, fat quarters is a luxury. I'm just gonna say, I don't usually get a fat quarter to design with for the quilt box.
Yeah, let's talk about pre-cuts. Is that next on our list?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you want to just say what a pre-cut is?
Yeah. All right. So a pre-cut is coming either from a quilt shop or a fabric company that's already pre-cut into a predetermined size. So they range from fat quarters, fat ace, layer cakes, which is 10 by 10. And I'm calling them the Moda names, all right? Because I'm a Moda designer, and I think Moda was the first one to come up with pre-cuts. If I'm wrong, whatever. But I know they have the trademarks on Jelly Roll, layer cake, and then they have charm packs and mini charm packs, or which mini candies we call them sometimes, or Moda candies or whatever. But so it's a predetermined piece. But that does not mean that we're going to use that size. It just means it's a cut of fabric. So just because it's a pre-cut doesn't mean we're going to make a quilt out of a charm pack and make 5-inch squares. No. All right. It just means it's every print in that line of fabric all in one spot, pre-cut at a certain size. So whether your budget is charm pack or fat quarter tower, you can kind of figure out a way to get every piece in the fabric line.
Yeah, and it's a great way, like you said last night, like the mini charms. If you fall in love with, a line of fabric, your studio is like, so I love going in there because there's just so much to look at, and there's just like little, remnants of different fabric lines all around.
Yeah.
And they become like little love objects,
Yeah, they're decorations.
Yeah, totally. But it's a way to just kind of like have that whole fabric line there.
Right. So we were tossing around a few more ideas here and there, but wouldn't it be cool to have a 5-inch charm of every fabric that, like Moda came out with in every one of their offerings? We call them buckets. So if I say Moda's bucket, that means this is a group of fabrics that they're releasing at this time. And I think they have 3 or 4 buckets a year. So, yeah. So if a charm pack is like under, what is it, $12, $14 now? What are charm packs? 12. So for $12, and let's say Moda came out with 15 lines, you could have every fabric that Moda came out with if you did that.
Yeah. And a charm pack, if you really are trying to go for a dense look where you're really just focusing on the fabric in that line, you're limited by the square inches that you have. But if you're willing to sort of put background in there and let it breathe, you can get a really
then we can come out with big quilts. And we'll talk about this one here in a minute. But yeah. So a lot of background can make those charm
packs go very far.
Charm packs stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't I know it?
All right. So your favorite pre-cut is?
A layer cake.
Layer.
And I like that because you can get you like for designing, I can kind of go down to a charm pack if I wanted to.
4 of them.
Yeah, you get 4 charm packs in a layer cake, or you can get strips as if it were a jelly roll.
Right.
So you're kind of right in between. So I find that gives a lot of flexibility.
And I've been finding lately that the layer cakes are a little bit bigger than 10 inches.
Oh, really?
Yes, because when we had a class in Mackinac Island, we used layer cakes, and I had, after starching, we still had 10 inches all the way around.
Kidding.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm like, how
cool.
did this happen? So I don't know.
Yeah, so starching, when you starch fabric, it'll shrink one direction, but not the other. So what's good is like in a charm pack, if you're doing something like at a 2-inch finished scale, meaning your block, like if you're doing the basic square of your quilt, when you're finished, after your seams are sewn, that measures 2 inches. That's a 2-inch finished scale. Then you're going to start with either like a 2.5 inch, or you're going to start with a 4.5 inch. So if you do rectangles, it means you can get 2.
Right.
Because it shrinks in one direction. So you still have at least 4.5, but you have 5 the other way. So you can get 2.5 by 4.5 cuts out of it. So that's really great. If that makes sense. So what's your favorite pre-cut?
A fat quarter tower. I want more.
Yeah.
I want the most. But I'll have to say that I probably like charm packs.
Oh, yeah?
Because they fit on my charm papers, my triangle papers.
Which is brilliant.
Right.
Which is your favorite notion, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. We'll talk about that later, too,
Yeah.
right? Okay. All right. So let us know what your favorite pre-cut is.
Yep.
Don't you wish you could forward all of it from every line? But it's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
And
a question up here.
okay.
It's about size. So I'll pop it up for you. Can you read that?
A farmhouse star quilt, but I want to make it king size.
Would it deter from the original design to add onto the borders and extend it out? Is farmhouse star, is that the one? Show me which one that is. Is it the one with the like the swoony looking one?
I think. I don't know actually. Let me see if I can.
I think that star is big enough that you definitely can add borders to it. So Jess is looking for it right now because I'll be honest, I can't remember every name of every quilt that we make. There's just way too many. Yeah, I'm thinking it's that one right there, right? Yeah.
Right here.
Okay, definitely you can add borders to that.
Can you see that?
Yes. Yes. So you could add like
10
a space of background,
Mhm.
and then you could even add like half square triangles,
Mhm.
and then some more bigger borders out there to make that king size. Yeah. So we'll show the quilt. So this is the quilt. So I would leave a space now between the block and whether you're going to do like a little stopper border in there, you know, something interesting around there. And then I would even add more if you wanted to make that king size. So you have some drape down. And remember that your quilt is going to shrink after you wash it. So I kind of planned for at least 5 inches of shrinkage in my quilt, if not more. I don't know the exact measurement of what's going to shrink, but be prepared, because if you're like, oh, my bed is perfect and I want a 10-inch drop, if you just wash that, you're going to lose some.
Yeah.
All right. So be prepared for that. Great question, though. I love that quilt too, by the way.
Yeah, that one's
Okay.
beautiful. Okay.
So where are we? We got a list. Did you see that? We're looking down here at our list.
yeah, we
I tell them all our secrets.
at 11:30 last night. What
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
are we gonna talk
11:30 last night. What are we going to talk about tomorrow?
about? Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we talk about, well, either do the trunk show, or do you want to talk about like notions and the bolt?
Let's break it up. Let's do
Okay.
the trunk show.
Okay. We're going to do so one of our collaborations early on was, it was coming up on Easter, and I guess I should have sent you the drawing for this one, but it was coming up on Easter, and I was just laying in bed one night and came up with this idea for a little Easter quilt. And we'll show it to you. It's the nibbles, the carrots with the one little bunny. And that launched sort of this just one series that is,
Yeah, I'm like, we need to do a whole series of these.
yeah. So we did a run of them, and then we paused, and we're showing you these again because we're actually going to start doing a couple more, because we had some more designs in. We're going to do one in the new fabric line that's forthcoming.
Yep, yep.
And that one's going to be so cute.
But we just want to show you how much fun we can have.
Yeah.
All right, where are they?
They're on the.
All right, can somebody grab them? All right.
There you go.
Do you have them in any particular order?
I don't think so. I think
right.
they just came up.
Should we do this first?
Sure. So this was part of the anchor and sailboats, and I was in the Navy for many, many years. So of course this is a favorite for me.
All right, so this is part of the Just One anchor and the sailboat quilt here. What was this called? Do we know?
Regatta. Oh, and it's got a nice flannel backing on it.
Right. So do you see how she made the sailboats and then the anchor, and then she did some more fancier work here, putting a block. And you could put a block in each one of these as well if that's what you want. So just to give you some more ideas with this. But isn't this beautiful? Simple.
Yeah.
Made out of the Bella Solids is very nice because we can rekit these things on a regular basis. Like 5 years from now, we can rekit this. So that's really nice to be able to keep kitting some of these quilts.
All right. This is for Halloween. And I will say my cat modeled for this. I have a little Siamese cat, and I swear that that's what she looks like. So this is Cats and Hats.
Yes, isn't that great? The purples are changing is the only thing that's changing in each block.
And this is really fun, and no specialty rulers. This is just done with measurements.
And just big and oversized and trimmed down,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yep. So I don't mind trimming and sizing down on something like that, but not on a flying geese unit.
No. Oops, I messed that.
Oh, sorry, I'm one fold ahead of you.
That's all right.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Oh, this is Patty in the pasture. So, well, it's Fatty Patty in the pasture.
Fatty Patty?
Yeah, because there's one in the middle that's a little wider than the rest. Because I want to make the math work. So that's Fatty Patty in the pasture.
Yeah, see, now you get to know the real details about the quilts.
Yep. And this one was fun to do. That's a pieced barn with a little applique on the top. And these are little applique heads.
Heads, yep. Yep, and you can machine applique those. You could just stitch around the edge on those depending on how much work you want to do with those. Or you could just do them by hand too.
Yeah.
You don't have to do everything by machine.
Oh, we get to show you two versions of this.
Yes, this one we did two different versions.
This is Waddles.
Yes.
So this was like after Easter. I guess this was like May or like springy.
Yep.
And that's in Garden Gatherings. And then this is just in Bella Solids.
So again, now we can keep recreating this one. Isn't this one just so happy?
Mm-hmm.
Look at how happy Waddles looks with all his colorful tulips. Super fun.
Someone asked where they can get the patterns or in the kits for all these.
Are these on tomorrow after here too or not? So we are going to do a comment sold right after, and that's where you can get a lot of these patterns, a lot of these kits, and a lot of pre-cuts that we're going to have a super duper sale on. Just to celebrate Alicia being here.
This is Lulu. And this, yeah.
Dresden.
Yeah, this is a Dresden ruler. And if you already have a Dresden ruler, but it makes like rounded points or bigger blades, go for it.
Yeah,
like,
it don't matter.
Yeah, just easy way to make a little daisy. And then here is Nibbles.
This is the one that started it.
Yep. This is
Was
Nibbles.
it this one or was it the other one? Yeah.
Yeah, it was this one. So there is a little bit of paper piecing in here, but don't be afraid. It's literally like 2-3 pieces. It's basically just a seam at a weird angle, and then you open it and square it up.
And then sometimes it's easy to do those one seams.
Yes, because
like
that's just a half or that's just a flip and stitch or stitch and flip right there, and that's the only thing you paper piece, and it's just to get that 60-degrry angle.
And you got it to line up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And didn't you do one of these in like the more?
We did it in a homespun line.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yes.
Yes. So that's just one.
So we're going to continue that series going forward. Woohoo,
Mhm.
that's a great. Show us. I just asked Tyler to do a red, white, and blue tie-dye for my red, white, and blue retreat coming up. Look at that.
It's still warm.
It's beautiful. Good job, Ty. So we're going to have little flowers made out of this.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Awesome. Well, that's just one. So yeah, we won't give away what.
Well,
the
we
new
can kind of say.
You want to say it?
I like
Okay.
to tell them.
All right. All
They
right.
hang out with us. They get to know stuff that nobody else knows.
Which one do you want to tell them about?
We're going to do a Jackson, a Jeter. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna do Jackson Jeter.
Mm-hmm. And then you tell them one.
We're
So
going.
we're going to do a dog and bones.
We're gonna do a crow and sunflowers.
That means we got to do a kitty too then.
We did the cats and hats.
No, a kitty.
Oh, okay.
That's a Halloween. There's a
Okay.
difference, right, people? There's a difference between cats and
kitties.
black cats with hats. Okay, there's a definite difference.
My cat. It's always Halloween for my
Kitty.
cat.
Kitties.
Okay.
So
we'll
kitties in
do
a
kitties.
whole bunch of kitties in one mouse, or a whole bunch of mouse in one kitty.
My cat is like the worst sewing assistant ever. Like I'll have Esme. I'll have everything lined up, and out of nowhere, she like comes at a downward angle and slides across the table. And I know I'm telling a story that like half of the people watching this right now experience the same as well. So okay, we'll do a kitty as well.
You got to do a kitty, right, people? We got to do a kitty. A kitty and what? What's the two? Because you have to have two items. So we're gonna do jacks with bones. So what are we going to do a kitty with? A ball of wool yarn? A fish?
Yarn. Yeah. No, yarn.
Give us some good ideas, okay?
Yeah. Okay, that's one to think on. Well, we've got at least 5 or so more. Okay. So
all right. So then let's talk about the minis too, because Alicia is doing some minis for us as well. And you want to talk about minis, or what do you want to say?
Yeah. So the minis, I think actually when I was here last year, we talked about doing these. The idea was the beautiful garden gatherings, fat quarter towers, because the color spectrum is like every color of the rainbow. If you use all the fabric, you're always going to end up with a rainbow looking quilt, which is great. But we thought it would be interesting to sort of pull those colors out and make like single quilts just using those colors. And it turned out great. So we now have 12. There are 8 that are basically, monochromatic.
Like red and white.
Or like I think the pink and yellow is the only 2-tone within the main series. Then there are 4 wild cards. Okay. And there's one for 4th of July. Ooh. And there's one for Christmas. And then there are just 2 more that kind of fit in. And we just figured out, so after I finished all the minis, we figured out we have enough fabric left over to make a bonus lap quilt.
So if you have the fat quarter tower and are using it, that's what Alicia's working from.
Yep.
So you will be able to, the only thing is sometimes because she makes the quilt top and then she sends it here and we quilt it. And I will have to use a binding.
Yeah.
So,
but that's okay, because what this bonus quilt is going to do is it's going to be scalable for whatever amount of fabric you have left. Oh. So it's just going to be, it's not going to be like a big.
If you don't have enough for a big quilt, you might have enough for a runner.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be the same pattern over and over. It's not going to be dependent on colors. It's going to be scrappy. So whatever you have left is going to work. And then you'll be able to just turn it into whatever size you want based on the fabric you have left over. But yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. Like bonus on top of the bonus.
So our mini club, what is it called? Monthly minis. It releases on the 1st of each month.
23rd of each month. Lisa on the 23rd.
I know this. Yeah, 23rd of each month. The pattern.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
What happens if the 23rd is a Sunday?
It's the next day.
Okay.
Because we want to be here when those downloads go live. So, and I think that happens in June, right? Yeah. So this June on the 23rd, quilt number 3 will not release until Monday. Just giving you a heads up on that.
Question on that release. Is that going to be the July 4th quilt, or will the July 4th quilt come out on July 23rd?
I don't know. Do you have the July one done?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. July 23rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't know what she was going to do. We didn't know she was going to do a red, white, and blue quilt. So we just started slotting them in. So
Sorry.
that's okay. Red, white, and blue is a season all the time, right? We are.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you say it's done?
it is.
It is done.
Yeah.
I mean,
You thinking we could slide it in?
I mean, if it's done,
It's not quilted.
okay.
Luckily, it's not that big.
We know some guys.
We know some people.
guys
Though.
who
Who
can
knows
quilt it.
what'll happen
see.
here?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be June. Maybe it'll be July.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
Alicia, were you ever stationed in Hawaii?
I was not stationed in Hawaii.
There's a lady on here who said you looked familiar.
Oh, really? Well, I passed through Hawaii. I was in the surface community, so yeah, we would stop in Hawaii on our way home from deployment to the Middle East, and everyone would be freezing because Hawaii was cold compared to the Gulf. So you. Oh, I love it here.
Yeah.
I
She
do.
wants to move here.
I do.
She's got to
I
get
do.
Norm to come here with her.
Yeah, well, I've been in Southern California now for like 17 years, and I'll tell you, like, oh wait, are you going to talk about the wool once a month wool thing? Because this is like the perfect segue. So when it is summer, nonstop summer, you lose track of what month it is. And so my husband came home one day and I was like crossing months off the calendar, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm tired of not knowing what month it is." So I started putting things out on the table. So there was like a red, white, and blue truck. So you were talking about doing like a once a month wool mat I'm like, oh, I could use that in my house in Southern California.
No, what I said we were going to do is pick 12 of them.
Yes.
One for each month, and then do a package deal on those. So if somebody who's new and doesn't have any, we didn't even tell Jess about this. She's looking at me like,
she's
what?
looking at us.
Yeah,
We're in trouble.
No. So we thought we would pick like 12 different mats, like January's a snowman, February's is a heart one. We would just do that, and hey, this is your year-long.
Well, even if you don't do that, those things already exist, and it's a great idea if you can't keep track of what month it is in your house, like I can't. So anyway, but yes, Southern California now, but I love it here.
Yes, she comes. She just calls me one day and says, "Can I come on Saturday?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, and beautiful. And each time I've been here has been okay. Each time I've been here has been a different month, so I'm getting to see Wisconsin through the year.
Perfect.
Super cool.
All right, so just back to the monthly minis. They are a $5 download for the whole month until the next one comes out, and then they become $10 or $12. I don't remember, but you get them for $5 each month when they release, and then after that they go up. So remember to do that. Put a little reminder in your phone to download the $5 mini pattern. And also, if you want a fat quarter tower that we're using for this, we still have plenty of them in stock, and we'll probably be selling some after today, after on comment sold. So look for that as well. And remember, the 23rd, we are only on number 2. So number 2 is only $5 yet. Number 1 has gone up in price. So if you are just starting off today, it's not too bad. So just know that. And then we are going to do this for a whole year. And then, like Alicia said, there's going to be a bonus at the end to get rid of the scraps left over from the fat quarter tower.
And I'll tell you, because I did a push and got a whole bunch made. I had like 8 up on my design wall at a time. If you do all 12 of these, you have an instant mini quilt wall,
Yes,
and it's
y'all
going to
know
look
what a
great.
mini quilt wall is, right? You've seen mine at home from my studio. So
yeah,
maybe we'll have to photograph them in here all on 2 walls. We'll have to, you do have space up there to put them close together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, fun.
All right. So that's one of the ongoing things. So Alicia does 6 cotton boxes each year. She does the minis, and then she helps. We just planned a bunch of things to help me out with my fabric lines, to do some quilts for those as well. And then we have something new going to start. We don't have a definite start date. We're going to try to start in July, but let's talk about the next thing.
Weekends. So sometimes you have really complex quilts that you're working on, and sometimes you just want to quilt and get it done.
Get something done.
Yeah. So I like a weekend in my quilting room. And so we kind of thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to have some projects that you could just get done in a weekend? So hence the weekend edition. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So we're come up with, I think we already have 5 of them completed. So we already 5 months ahead on this project. But they probably, not always, will go around a pre-cut, but we will have kits for them. And I think we're going to do, if you buy our kit, the pattern will be free. The download will be free. If you don't, then if you don't want the fabric, then we will just offer the download at a price. We didn't do all those details because she surprised me about coming here. So we're giving you a little sneak peek at what's coming up. So I said, let's just talk about it, right? So they know what's coming up and they can write it down and be prepared when it comes up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So this is our first one. This is called Falling Triangles. It doesn't look like they're falling because we hung it sideways, but
we wanted you to see the whole color.
But the pattern is oriented 90 degrees faced up. And this is just going to be, the way we made this was, it was 26 fabrics. It's just finished 2x4 flying geese, and then 5 yards of background fills out all the spacers. And you can do any color version you want.
So whether you like our kit, how we did it, or you want to do your own.
I mean, if you had a fat quarter tower of garden gatherings, you would be able to do that right there.
And you'd only use a 5-inch square out of it for this one quilt and a background.
Yeah. And so we made a video. So
Yes.
when this launches, you'll get to see us give a little tutorial.
Talk pretty in depth about flying geese.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of you do not like flying geese, and there's 26 different ways to make flying geese, but we showed you 2 different ways. I think 2 of the most popular ways.
Yeah.
I think the most efficient ways.
Yeah.
I don't like drawing lines. If you're drawing lines on your flying geese, quit that.
Yeah. I don't like doing that either.
Too much work.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's weekend edition, and they're going to be fun. And I think that the patterns are simple, but depending on what fabric you choose, you can make it fit within your aesthetic and your style. Even this one you could make look fairly primitive if you changed the background.
We thought even about making a dark background with light triangles too.
Yeah, that would
like
be
maybe
very
have a
cool.
really light, beautiful color palette, put it with a dark. So they are going to be very easily manipulated quilts to your color scheme or whoever. But sometimes it's just nice to buy the kit and make it, and then when you need a gift, it's there. So these are perfect for giving away. A quilt you can make in a weekend is perfect. And we mean the top, right? We're not saying you have to have it quilted and all that stuff too in a weekend, but we're talking about piecing the top in a weekend.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So isn't that a brilliant, fun idea? So we will keep doing those. We will do 1 a month starting off just to see how it goes and see how well it's received. If you want to participate in that, we will keep going. But if nobody's doing it, then we'll just let it go.
And maybe we'll do some surprise check-ins on the weekend from our quilting rooms.
Right. And maybe we'll do some challenges too. Like, okay, we're going to launch. What we will do is we're going to take some pre-orders for it. So like, I think like on the 1st of the month, we're going to say, okay, this is the quilt that's going to be the weekend quilt. It's going to release on the 15th. So get your kit ahead of time. We have X amount. And maybe we do some, hey, who got it done on that Monday? Say who got it done on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be a lot of fun. So cool. Let's see. Do you want to talk about that or?
So does you guys write down any questions that we have? Or are we doing good?
Got some questions, but they're not on topic.
Okay. Not on topic? All right. Wait till we're off topic. Okay. So we have one more thing I want to talk to Alicia about.
Yep.
And that is, all right, now that she's been quilting for about 9 whole years. All right. Isn't she good for 9 years? All right. What's your favorite notion?
Oh, my favorite notion. Well, my favorite notion is the stitch and flip primitive gathering tape that goes on your sewing machine. This thing, when Lisa showed it to me, I think I squealed like it was Taylor Swift. Because it is so cool.
Okay.
There we go. And it tapes, and you get more than one, and it tapes onto your sewing machine, and you line that center line up with the needle, And then that gives you the guide for 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. And this helps when you're doing stitch and flip. And I do include stitch and flip in the designs.
She does so much stitch and flip in these designs. It's crazy.
So this is your friend.
Yeah. And
This
then you
is
don't
your
have
friend.
to draw lines anymore.
Yeah.
So you're just running your point of your square in, and the back end follows the line all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's just like so easy. And I wish we would have had those so long ago, but
Me too.
we didn't. We were drawing lines, drawing lines, drawing lines. No more drawing lines for me.
No.
There's a few things I give up.
Does that stick to plastic machines?
Yes.
Sure, it's stitched to anything. And we tested it. Like I tested it for a whole 6 months before I said, yes, this is good enough. And I tweaked it a little bit and I added another line, because when you're doing a lot of stitch and flip, there's waste, right? And if your square is big enough, you can actually stitch the next line 1/2 inch away, cut between them. So you have your sewing line that you need for your project. And then you have another little line that you cut, and you have the little waist triangles become 1/2 square triangles as well.
Yeah, so I think there's that old tool that's like the guide.
Quick
Yeah, the quick, but you can, once you get your seam in there, you use that seam as the guide on the other side.
Right. Yeah.
So you can actually end up just using the seam, because it has these, and it's long enough where if you are doing like a 5-inch triangle, you can see the bottom. And the bigger the square is, actually the harder it is to keep the line straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So these are great.
Does it leave residue?
No.
Well, yeah, it does, because it sticks so well. So you're going to have to get your glue gun to get it off once it starts to curl. And after 6-9 months, when it starts to do that, that's why we give you 7 of them, right? Because you're going to have to take it off. You just get a little glue gun or whatever, rubbing alcohol or whatever takes that off. Yes. I'm not going to say there's no residue.
I was going to say there's no residue, because I haven't, I
Yours
put mine
hasn't
on
moved.
so
Yeah,
good
yeah.
that there's like.
But I had one on my machine for over 1.5 years now. So yes, when I pulled it off to put in a new one, because after a while, even I think the air kind of just makes it funny.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we put 7 in the package.
Yeah. So what's your favorite notion?
My favorite notion is triangle paper. Right. I love triangles. So I'm not going to say, oh yeah. And if I had to pick my second one, it'd be a rotary cutter. I love my big fat rotary cutter, the 60 millimeter, but I cannot live without triangle paper. So especially because my favorite pre-cut is a 5-inch charm. So if I can't have the fat quarter tower, I love the charm. So we planned another quilt along, because guess what? Twilight Stars is over and I'm sad. I miss my weekly have to do's, Heidi, right? Heidi would be like, hey, you got those blocks done yet? Hey. So I miss Heidi asking me, where's my stuff? But so we planned another quilt along with 1/2 square triangles, and it is going to be amazing. Yeah. It's going to be so amazing that you're going to want to do it. And I think we're going to start it in the beginning of the year. So we're starting to cut right now, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah,
it's going to be super cool. And then I wanted to talk about buying a bolt of fabric.
Oh, okay.
So I think that it took me a little while to accept that I was like a full-blown quilter. And so in the beginning, I was like, oh, I need some background fabric. I'm going to go get 5 yards or 6 yards. And then when we started doing like a heavy volume of work, I would get a bolt of the background to use. And I realized like, that's actually just like 4 or 5 quilts on background. Depending on how big they are. But then I realized like, oh my God, it cracked the code. So I just wanted to encourage anybody who still thinks that they're a casual quilter, go for a bolt if you use the regular background a lot, and
like a Bella Solid somebody might be coming out with some background fabrics pretty soon. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
A whole line of background fabrics.
And I actually, when I get the bolt, I starch the entire thing.
Yeah, we should video that sometime.
Yeah, I will. I'll take a video of it. So because I was taking
tonight. We'll show how you do it.
Okay. I was taking off pieces. Okay. I was taking off pieces, starching it, and then doing it. But I was like, well, that's just kind of a waste of time, because you have to set up to starch in my sewing room. So I just kind of kept going one day. Ended
Unrolling
up
the bolt and starching it at the same time.
the whole thing. It was like 2 or 3 drying racks, just like this. And then once it was dry, I rolled it back up onto the bolt, and now I just take off sections of starched fabric.
Pretty genius. Pretty
So that's
genius.
my pro tip.
Awesome.
For the group.
So there's a good tip if you like a certain background, whatever, if it's a Bella, if it's a little mini background or something like that, or a grunge or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do is to get a bolt. And we will start selling some bolts on our thing too, one of these days. Right, Jess? She's like looking at me like, I know it.
We need to.
All right. Any other questions? Off topic now. And then I'll pick winners.
Dear Santa update. Yes.
Oh.
What's that?
Dear Santa update.
What is it? What's the latest?
It's arriving in Moda the first week of July, which means it probably won't ship until the following week.
Okay. So this is what Jess says. Moda's website says the first week in July for Dear Santa. And I know we're sad too. We've had Dear Santa quilts hanging up on the wall there for a couple weeks now, and we can't sell kits yet. So we hear you. We want them too. So we are waiting. And I actually used one of my Dear Santa prints in my red, white, and blue quilt that's next week, and we don't have it. So I am scrambling here to find a fabric for those quilts. Luckily, we have fabric here, and we got some really good ones. But I feel your pain. It's coming. We don't know when. Usually Moda has been, the shipments have been ahead of time. So we're really surprised by this one being late. So that's the latest, the first week in July. But that means it's arriving in Moda the first week in July. So then it's going to take, a week to get here, and then a week for us to cut kits. If you don't have kits cut in yardage or whatever, or pre-cut, that's easy. But middle of July, probably for sure now.
Do you want to talk about the quilt?
What
Dear
quilt?
Santa?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, once the fabric comes out, we will be,
Oh, my God.
what?
Just keep talking.
Oh, okay. So once the fabric comes out, we are going to do a row quilt. So
I'm
long.
dying. Keep going.
Dying. Okay. So it's going to be you're going to get 2 blocks a month for 4 months to put this, and it's a good size quilt together. And there's going to be an option to do it with the Santa panel, and then an option without. So if you like the panel, you're still going to be making at least a couple of every single one of the rows. Just your middle will be a panel. And then if you don't want to do it the panel, it's going to be a row quilt across, and it looks really cool.
Right. So you're going to make the panel quilt, and I'm going to make the row quilt.
Yep.
Right. Because I'm done making panel quilts of Santa, because I've made enough of them. So what's really fun about having another quilt for the Santa panel is I know so many people who are making multiple Santa quilts for their grandchildren. So you don't have to make the same quilt over and over again. You can we have like 4 or 5 different quilt patterns for the Santa panel. But this is going to be a 4-month quilt along. Did you say 4 months?
4 months. Yep. 2 blocks a month.
Yeah. So, and it's all red and white. And we're excited about it because it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Because I love doing that, a little bit, once a week or once a month. I got to get that. I love that. And by the end, because we know how fast a year goes, and we have a quilt done. So, yeah. Another thing to look forward to. We've been planning our butts off here. Okay. Questions and prizes.
Okay. A lot of them are about the loyalty program.
Mm-hmm.
Will you earn loyalty points when redeeming a gift card?
Nope.
I don't know if you want to repeat my question.
I don't know. Because didn't we usually give it to the person who redeemed the gift card, not who bought it?
I'll be honest, I don't know how that works.
All right, we'll look into that one.
We'll get back to
All right, so the question was, will you get loyalty points when you redeem a gift card? So I think we used to give the loyalty points to the person when they redeemed it, but that's like in person. So we were able to do that. But now when it's a gift card is purchased online, I would think that the gift card, the person who purchases is going to get the loyalty points. But we'll look into that. That's a great question. Good job. Good question. Maybe one we didn't think of. Jess is writing it down right now.
So
I still have a punch card. Can I use it at the store still?
Yes, you can use your punch card at the store. You will bring it in. We will apply your however many punches you have on your card. We're going to put that right into our system, and you will be now on rewards. And if you do that before what date? July 1st, you get 100 extra points. So do it. You can even mail it in if you can't get here before July 1st.
So if they have cards that are almost full, they should mail them in.
Yes, before July 1st.
Okay. And do BOMs earn loyalty points?
Do what?
Block of the month or?
I don't know if block of the month subscriptions do not, because those are all severely discounted already.
It's all considered a subscription.
So those are no. Block of the months are subscriptions.
So no.
So no.
So no on
No on blocks of the month.
Okay. Do you have to keep checking into the loyalty program every time you sign in? It's
No.
just automatic.
Once you sign in, every time you purchase, your points will be added to your account. And you can double check to make sure the first couple times that it's happening, but it should be automatic.
That's it for the
Under
loyalty.
your email.
That's it for loyalty program.
Right.
We do have a question about the code class. Will there be a pattern for the code after the class is complete?
Yes. I think we will
That'll be
definitely.
next year.
Yes.
Coming out, right?
Once we get all the kinks out of the coat, make sure it fits the several sizes and body types and all that kind of stuff, we will definitely have a pattern for it.
All right. And then last but not least, we had a couple questions earlier about rug hooking versus rug punching. So if you could clarify what the difference is, and then what the question is will the instructors go over rug punching, or will it just be rug hooking at the upcoming classes?
Great. All right. So the question was, what's the difference between rug punching, rug hooking, and when we have the instructors, because when Peggy was talking about the rug hooking camp that we're having, will the instructors teach rug punching? So these are McGowan certified rug hooking teachers. They can punch probably, but they probably will teach rug hooking mostly. All right. Not to say you can't take what they teach you and punch if you already know how to do it. And rug punching is you thread this needle, and every time you punch down, it makes a loop, 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 and it's gauged by the needle. All right, that's rug punching. Rug hooking is when you go down, grab the wool, and you pull it up to a certain height each time. You go through the layer of the foundation and pull up a loop. That's rug hooking. So that's the difference. I find it very easy to rug punch. Not so much the rug hooking. It can be done. You just got to keep doing it. And I haven't devoted enough time to it to become very proficient, because I can do it 2 times faster if I rug punch, and I get the same results. Hope that's it in a nutshell for you. Okay. So then we have some prizes then, and we'll let you get on with your day because we talked a lot today.
Yeah.
We got comments sold.
And we got comments sold after, and we're going to have a really, really, really good one. Okay, so our winners today for your mystery prizes, we'll have Alicia pick your prizes for you.
Oh.
Tammy Graffy, Ruth K, and Bonnie Strobel. You are all winners for 613 episode here on Live with Lisa and Alicia. All right. So thank you so much for being here. It's so much
Thank
fun when
you.
I have people.
I know. I bet.
Yeah, so much better.
I
right?
can't believe you
And
do
she
this
talks
every
for
week.
herself.
What's
Yeah.
that?
She just talks for herself.
Yeah, I just talk to myself then, right? All right. Thanks for joining us today here at Primitive Gatherings, where every stitch tells a story. Bye now.